I'm going to try to fix this parking aid module for a 2002 Ford Super Duty F250. My reversing circuit, I wrote down all the pin numbers here. The powers, I checked the grounds. The only thing I didn't check was the communication circuit when I was diagnosing what was wrong with this in my truck, because I didn't want to get out the oscilloscope. I'm pretty sure it's communicating though. But my reverse and input circuit is not working. It's not switching this to ground or power. And between ground, I got a 1000 ohms of resistance. That just ain't enough resistance. So I figured I would take this apart, this Parking Aide Module, and try to diagnose what was wrong with it and fix it myself. I tested the speaker with a 9-volt battery, and the speaker pops and goes back and forth this one. Having a problem. I'm not sure if this is a... Look at the circuit over here. I think that's an inductor. I don't think that's a resistor. I'm going to desolder it from the board. I already know there's a bunch of traces inside the board that are actually dead, because I was ohming this thing out last night. These two capacitors are fried. And then there's all this circuitry over here. I'm not sure what that is right there. You see how them two traces are burned up? And then there's a surface mount component right there. So what I'm going to try doing is taking this thing apart. If that's just a coil, if that's just an inductor, I could just run a piece of wire in there to test it to see if it turns on, because that's my main, that's where the 12 volt comes through. If that's just an inductor, then it's just not allowing AC current to come through, but the DC current comes through just fine. Don't think that's a resistor. It's just too big. They had their window down. It was just running down the A pillar right on top of this, because it's right behind the glove box on the A pillar. So I'm going to try to fix this and see if I get, because you can't get this damn part nowhere. Ford don't sell it. Rock Auto don't sell it. None of the aftermarket places sell it. I could go to the junkyard and try to track it down. Or maybe I could throw one from a Lincoln Navigator, but who knows if it's specific to the vehicle. Probably is, even though it looks the exact same, the Lincoln Navigator does. But yeah, you can see when that thing caught on fire and blew up. I already know I'm going to have to take some really tiny wire and just solder new pathways, because that whole pathway inside the board is gone. That trace, it don't even lead to any of them through hole mount stuff anymore. The traces inside the board are gone. So pretty much those traces right there are all demolished inside the PCB. Like, there's no conductivity at all right through there. And then right there, those two are actually, I'll have to scrape them and break that part of the PCB, because those two are shorted together now. Like I said, I don't know if these are Zener diodes or if these are transistors or what these things are. I'm going to have to try to look them up. Voltage regulators, that's what they could be as well. So I've determined that definitely parts of this board are gone. So this trace right here is burned up because there's nothing between here and here. So it's broken right here. The one that comes right off the 12-volt line goes to right here. It's broken right there. And then this one that comes off the reverse circuit is broken too. And we'll see there's nothing. It burned it right up. See, there's no trace inside of there. See? So that doesn't connect. So I'm going to have to solder a wire from here. Figure out where this pin is and just wire it directly from this point to one of these pins over here. To one of these pins, the point where the power comes in. Right here, because it's broken. I'm going to have to solder it right to this first pin right here. Right there, a wire. Because when I put this thing back in the box, there's no clearance. There's no clearance because there's actually test points on the back where I could reach a wire around and just solder. But by the time this plate goes back on and this slides back in the box, there's no room at all for any wires to cross over. So I'm gonna have to get sneaky with this. See how this one's going too right here. So I'm gonna have to solder a wire from right here to right here. But as far as I could tell, that's all the pathways that got burned. Like I said, I'm gonna check all the way from the pins all the way back to how they make it back to their ground point on the whole board. Cause this thing's like freaking $300 something, $400 for this little thing. And there's like only one of them I could find on eBay. And then I found a couple for a Lincoln Navigator. That solder joint right there. See, that's gotta, these solder joints gotta be taken care of. Look at them. See how they're cracked? They got a circle around them. If those go to anything, unless they're just test points for the other side of the board. So I just got done soldering up this board where all the traces were fried. I'm about to go hook it into the my truck and go test it to see if I fix this Parking Aide module. Correct microfarad capacitors, but the voltage is just a little higher, well, a lot higher. The one was 35 volts and the other was only 16 volts. So I'm probably just going to order these, because in this box of capacitors I have, for fixing electronics, they only gave me 50 volters. There's a bunch of them, bunch of capacitors, but just the common values, no oddball voltages. So let me go hook this to my truck and see if it actually works. Alright, so I went ahead and wired that up. I put new capacitors on it. Yeah, they're 50 volts, both of them. And I jumped out the parts of the board that were, and that was good right there. But now I could turn this on and off. Alright, it's on. So I'm gonna have somebody walk in front of the back part there. You can go ahead and stop. Thank you. What started this whole mess was I had to try to figure out why my brake controller wasn't working, because I'm getting a big trailer, and figured out that somebody smushed the heck out of this connector wires. I'll include a little picture of what it looked like. Will you go ahead and walk in front of that again? There we go. Cool. Sweet. Yeah, like I said. Oh, there she goes again. I went ahead and jumped out all those spots on the board that were, missing the traces, and then changed the two capacitors, and then reflowed that one section. And even this light works, it's just real hard to see. Let me turn on the headlights. Anyway, I just made all my own wiring diagrams to do that brake controller, because Mitchell 1 DIY is about a freaking joke, and they don't even show this, the brake control connector right here that got smushed. Put that back in park, turn this off. I'll come around here and show you that that other LED works. Hey Zoe, Zoe. Beep beep. Beep beep, Zoe. That comes on now. Which it didn't come on before, that LED. See how it's green? I'll turn off the lights. That's out now. To find this brake control, or to find that parking aid module, it's so far behind this thing. It's so far up behind this dash, you would never be able to pry it out of there if you didn't take this top part of the dash off, because it goes way up in here, and I had to get a long pry bar. So you pretty much go down and around the glove box, right? It says it's in the glove box. That's such a lie. It's way up back here. Way up back here. Right here someplace. Hopefully you could see it on camera. Yeah, because there's the one mounting hole, and the other mounting hole is way up there. So now my brake controller, I'll be able to mount that. Now I fixed that connector, and then I fixed this parking aid module that caught on fire. I'm pretty sure what they probably did was left the window open. Somebody did. This is before I got the truck. This is a 2002. I got this truck 3 years ago. I left the window open. Got water down inside of here, and that's where it sat. Because this thing goes in up up in there like that. So the water obviously sat on the bottom of that and just grounded that out. But hey, now I can back up. See, there it is. Parking Aide Module. Could spend $300 or 15 cents on parts. I choose to fix it myself.